Hello and welcome to this WordPress tutorial on how to create a blog post. If you've watched my other tutorial on how to create a page, it's pretty much kind of a very similar protocol to actually being able to create a blog post, or what you can call a news article or blog article. This is a very excellent way to help your search engine rankings by continuously doing these sorts of things. Every time you post a blog article, you're basically providing fresh keyword content to Google, and it keeps your site alive and dynamic, which is very crucial for you getting noticed on the web, for Google, to keep your and to optimize your rankings as best you can. So the way to start a new blog post is just, you can either go from a couple options. Assuming you're already logged in, you just hit new and post up here, or you can roll over posts and hit add new on the section here. Let's just go ahead and click onto that. Your next step is to title your blog post. So we're just going to title it blog article. Of course, you have the familiar editing tools and editor window here, where you actually type in your blog article and information, whatever you want to actually put into your news post. That's actually going to go here. You're able to upload, of course, media, which I covered in another tutorial. I won't go into it too much here, with your JPEGs and documents like Word and Excel and so on and so forth, PDFs. You can, of course, format. Very familiar tools. I'll just ask you to play with that. You can link whatever to outside links or internal links within your WordPress site. By default, it also does what Word does, which is actually automatically save your draft every couple minutes, which is very useful. Of course, if you have the worst happens, your computer crashes, and you dread that you spent an hour and a half typing this blog article and fear that it's gone, well, most likely it's been auto-saved and you're totally safe. You can also get proactive and save your draft here, and before you go live on the web, you can click this preview option. You'll see there, this is a very generic design here, so it will look a lot different, I'm sure, on your site, but this is where the blog article the title appears, and your blog actual content will appear. We'll come back to these two options in just a second, but I wanted to talk to you about categories. Categories is, of course, very highly recommended. I would say do that once you get to 20, 30 blog posts or so. You're gonna have regretted not doing categories. By default, it'll pick whatever your default category is automatically once you publish the blog post, but you can, and then these are just some that have been created in other demos, but you can also view what are the most used categories, and you can literally check a box, as many as you want, and that will become your category or categories. Or if there's none of them that apply to this, you can add a new category, name it, you can make it a child category to any parent category. This is just to help with develop a hierarchy, so you can get even more organized, and I'd kind of recommend that if just to make things a lot neater and compact. And when you're done typing it in, you just hit add new category, and then it adds it here and automatically checks the box. I'm going to veer on down here to tags. Tags is basically serves two purposes. It's another form of categorization, and it's an excellent source for search engine optimization, or SEO. So the categorization component would basically, if you're not wanting to necessarily assign a whole general category to a blog post, but you want to reference it, reference a bunch of, maybe you want to reference this post later. Maybe you've got you're planning on having several posts that might have some kind of interesting information that you want to kind of reference later easily, and you want to sort and view those articles that you've tagged as this specific keyword or keywords. You can do that. Let's just say for example, you wanted to reference all the blog post articles from July of 2010. You literally will type in July 2010, and I guess I've already created something like that. You can call it July 2010, and it'll, if you've done others in the past, it'll pop up here, and you can click it, and it'll just populate. And then if you want to add more tags, in addition to the first one you've created, you just hit a comma. Maybe you're writing about tigers. Maybe there's a reference to tigers. I don't know why there would be, but you don't necessarily. This is a medical site, but for whatever reason you got some information on tigers. Well, you might want to reference that later. And maybe you plan there might be others in the future, or maybe this is the only one you ever do with the reference of tigers. It's just another form of categorization again. That's the big thing. And then of course every time you're putting in a keyword here, these key phrases, you're helping with your search engine optimization. It's putting stuff on the backside that'll allow you to reap the benefits of that. When you're done, you just hit add right down there. In addition, you can choose from the most used tags. You can just literally click on it and it'll add it here. And of course, deleting it, you just click on the X to remove them. The final, actually a couple more things I wanted to cover was this section called featured image. And that allows you to put a kind of a thumbnail on your blog post alongside with your article. I would kind of get in the habit of doing that. It just adds more visual interest towards your blog. You would click on that set featured image. You can either upload an image, which I covered in another tutorial, or if you've already got stuff uploaded, you can go to the media library. Let's just get this chrysanthemum photo. And then you just click on this use as featured image link, and then that'll add it as your featured image. You would X out, and this I'm not sure if this will add when it's not published. It probably won't, but yeah, that's how it would basically look. This isn't the one we're working on right now, but it's just a little thumbnail that appears to add visual interest to the blog world. Of course, the design's going to look different depending on your site, but it just adds that. And of course, we're not able to show this until we publish it, which we won't do, but that's just all it does, and it's a very handy way of kind of adding visual appeal, as I mentioned, for your blog. When you're done with everything, you're ready to publish. You would click this magic publish button, and that puts it live on the web, and it's officially ready. Or you can just save the draft, come back to it later, edit it more, and until you're ready, you can click on publish. If you need to delete, just move it to the trash, which we'll do here, and you're at your post panel and done. Well, that's it for creating a blog post. Thank you for joining us.